Premier League score predictions, game week 27 coming up now. First up is Burnley versus Arsenal, and with Arsenal, they keep winning one and they keep losing one. So I really hope I'm not jinxing Arsenal and saying that they're going to lose this one. But before this season, the last time Burnley beat Arsenal was in 1974. And can Burnley do the famous double?
That needs to be fact checked. 1974. That's
far.
That's actually the last time I got a haircut.
But yeah, can they do the crazy double? If you remember the game at the Emirates, I think that was at Arteta's lowest point, where Arsenal lost to Burnley, where Burnley I don't think had a shot on goal, and we scored an own goal for Aubameyang, and Xhaka choked one of the Burnley players to get sent off, and it was that bad. But Burnley, they haven't won a game in their last three. They're currently drawing 1-1 at the moment, and hopefully they can get a win. But yeah, this is a tough game. This is Sean Dyche. Why did they do a stupid thing and lose 4-0 against Tottenham by pressing high? Will they build a massive wall against Arsenal, basically?
Yes, excellent, Gary. Thank you for the live score update as well. I'm sure everyone is waiting for this to be released on a Thursday so they can see what the score was yesterday. What's your score prediction?
I am going for a 1-0 Arsenal win. I want an own goal from Burnley for revenge.
Yeah, I think I'm signing with Arsenal. I'm going 2-0 Arsenal. Next up is Sheffield United versus Southampton. And for Sheffield United, it's a little bit doom and gloom at the moment. You remember that famous win at Old Trafford, and we're like, you know what? Maybe they could pull off the impossible. Maybe they could do it. But in their last 3 games, they've lost 3. Although I can just see at the corner of my eye they are currently 1-0 up against Aston Villa. So maybe not. Maybe they're not staring down the barrel of the gun, and there's a little bit of hope that it might just happen. So who knows? But as I say, they really need to start getting points on the board if they want to try and do a great escape.
Yeah, it just feels like they got quite a few big wins, but they just haven't been following that up against teams in and around them, which is the real problem.
I feel like all they want to do is just be an annoyance to the bigger teams. They're like, we're going to beat Man United, but then we'll lose to everyone else. We don't care. And let's be honest, Gary. Let's be honest, right? The current run Southampton are on, right, is a 9-match unbeaten run. They have only won 1 game in 2021, and that came against Liverpool. What is it with these teams? Both of them, they beat the big teams and they fall apart.
So what's going to happen in this game? They're just going to draw against each other, I bet.
They will both lose. No, I don't know what's going on. Let's be honest, Southampton would be in a similar situation to Sheffield United if it weren't for that early season form. But I think Southampton, they might just have the edge. They have that little bit of confidence, and I'll tell you why. Since Sheffield United have been promoted, Sheffield United have not beat Southampton, and the last time that Sheffield United did get a win against Southampton, it was whilst they were both in the Championship.
She's saying they got the mental edge over them. I see. Well, score prediction then. Who are you going to go with? You're going to Sheffield United. You just defunct that pointless stat.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact I was so easily goaded into that, because I was definitely wanting to do Sheffield United just to prove you wrong. Me and my massive hair, we are going for Southampton. We're going 1-0 Southampton.
I'm going with the Blades. I'm going 2-1 Sheffield United. Next up is Aston Villa versus Wolves, and a bit of a big derby here. If you remember, back in December, there was a bit of a scrap between these two teams, and Aston Villa came out victorious in the last minute with a penalty, which was crazy, crazy ending. And I think it was 2 sending offs. Wolves, I feel they haven't lost. They have lost in their last 6 games, but it was only to Manchester City, and I feel like they've gotten much better with their defending. They still kind of miss their main man in Raul Jimenez, but if you take a main striker out from any team, they're going to struggle. And Nuno said it correctly, like, they're doing well in the last couple of games, but it's always going to seem pretty well, considering where they were at the beginning of the season. And they have high expectations, so they just got to keep chugging along. for Aston Villa, they're kind of in their weird part of the season at the moment. They're picking up results, dropping results. Performances haven't been there, and you kind of can't mention Wolves not having Raul Jimenez without saying Aston Villa don't have Jack Grealish, who's the main engine of their team. But they still have Martinez, who's still pulling out blinders. So they still have a really good basis to which to win this massive derby.
I want to pick up on your derby comment. I'm going to say this. I feel like, I get what you're saying. It is a derby, but I feel like both of them are yeah, but you're just my side bitches. Because obviously Aston Villa, they care about Birmingham, and whereas Wolves, they care about West Brom. So it's like two side bitches going at it, I feel like.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have the previous game where they got 2 red cards, I don't know, there might be a bit more to play for in this one.
Fair enough. What's your prediction?
I am going for a 2-2, and I want 2 more red cards here. And let's keep the heated exchanges between these two teams.
I'm going for. It's a tough one. I think I'm going 1-0 Wolves. Next up is Brighton versus Leicester City. And Brighton fans, you need to help me. You need to help me understand something. You really need to help me understand how you support your football club, and you don't destroy your TV. You don't stamp on bread, and you don't snap your toilet seat in half after every game. Like, just explain to me. Because the thing is, I've throughout the season, kind of where we've committed to trying to watch every game, I've bought into Brighton. They tried to play good football, the performances are good, but just shit happens, and I just don't know. I just don't know what's going on. And it's not always your fault. Like the referee playing early, what's an idiot, right? But then you miss 2 penalties. I can't even talk about the games prior to that because that's just in my head. Like, how do you do it, Brighton fans? Just, maybe drop me a little comment. Just tell me how you do it. Have you pulled all your hair out? What is going on?
It feels like they're in a bad dream, bad nightmare, and like Freddy Krueger is out to hunt them, or the XG Freddy Krueger is hunting them down non-stop, and I haven't seen a poor run of finishing them form like this in a long, long time.
XG Freddy Krueger. That's what you signed up to here,
he'll look even scarier than the real Freddy Krueger.
Only top-notch analysis
here at Fickle Sports.
And for Leicester, Leicester fans, I'm not letting you guys off the hook. And I'm not to have a go at you guys. I'm just wondering what the hell is happening in your physio room. And I'll tell you why. Earlier in the season, you got a shed load of injuries. Like, you got a lot of injuries. And you managed to deal with it, and full credit to you, because there's a lot of teams who suffered much less injuries and they didn't deal with that situation. But you're getting it again. Let me just go through the list of players who might be ruled out for the game. Harvey Barnes, Perez. Oh, you notice I said Harvey Barnes and not Barnes. No one says Barnes. It's Harvey Barnes or nothing. James good. Maddison, James Justin, Johnny Evans, Wes Morgan. What is going on? Like,
it's bad because I think with this fixture list, every 3 days you're playing, that is just like, you can't, like, with injuries they just start to compound, and it's too much.
I feel like Ledley King must be their physio or something. Something is not right there. Like, there is someone not doing their job in the physio room. You know what?
Yeah, Football Manager, kissing people where they're injured.
In Football Manager, their physio, he must have a 1 next to physiotherapy. It must be. Come on. What is going on?
King has a 0 in my opinion.
What's your prediction? Come on.
I don't know. I can't go with Brighton. But Brighton are weird enough. They probably will win this. I'm going 1-0 Brighton.
I'll let you do that. You could take the heartache for this one. So I'm going to go in the opposite direction and go 1-0 Leicester.
Next up is West Bromwich Albion versus Newcastle. And West Brom, they're undefeated in their last 3 games. We don't know exactly what's going on between West Brom and Everton, as we're recording before that game. But they should have probably won those games that they drew. And, they were very lucky to win that game against Brighton. Bit of a jammy game, but, who cares? Like, if West Brom are going to get out of the relegation zone, games like that are going to have to go in their favour. And it was kind of crazy, but all well and good. And I feel like Sam Allardyce is going to get revenge against his old side, Newcastle, for not backing him to get JJ Okocha and Ivan Campo whilst he was on Tyneside. So I think this could be a big game. This is a massive game because they're looking at Fulham to catch Fulham, but they need to catch Fulham and Newcastle. So this is a massive game. As for Newcastle, that is 1 win in 5 for Steve Bruce and the boys. So it's pretty rough going at the moment. And there are multiple reports that they've had a bit of a training ground bust up with Matt Ritchie and a few of the other players after Steve Bruce was pretty critical of his players and the way they conceded the goal against Wolves. But these Newcastle players, they've got to be careful. Have they seen the size of Steve Bruce and the multiple broken noses that he has? I assume that each one of those broken noses is for each person he's annihilated in the past. So they got to be careful where they step with Steve Bruce.
The image I have in my head when them two are playing, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to put it in your head as well, but if you've ever seen the Family Guy and Simpsons crossover, where both Homer and Peter Griffin both do the car wash, with like kind of wet t-shirts and that's the image I get with this game.
What, Sam Allardyce and Steve Bruce?
Yeah, exactly that. That's what I have.
And they're going to agree to a point each.
I will not be sleeping for a while.
Score prediction. Who have you got?
I'm going down the middle with this one. I'm going 1-1.
Oh, I think West Brom are going to take this one because of the training ground bust up. Might not be all on the same page for this game. So I'm going 2-1 West Brom.
Next up is Liverpool versus Fulham. And for Liverpool, I mean, that win really couldn't have come at a better time. To be honest with you, it's probably just what the doctor ordered when you've got, they went on a 4-match lose streak, which is just something you just don't expect from this Liverpool team. It's not what we've become accustomed to because after the last 2 seasons, they have been one of the best teams in the Premier League. But they went on that 4-match unbeaten run. And I take it back. It's not just what the doctor ordered. What the doctor really needs to order is Van Dijk to just get a little bit of that kind of miracle spray and to be back in that team. That's what they really need. But next best option was playing bottom of the table Sheffield United, and they did just what they had to do. They played. They didn't play fantastically well, but they played well. They got the win. They got the 3 points. But now, Fulham, that'll be quite a tough nut to crack. But even before that, they also have the difficult game of playing Chelsea. But Liverpool aren't the only ones with a tough midweek game. Fulham, of course, are playing Tottenham. So it'd be quite interesting to see for both teams, if they're going to try and rotate. Quite ironically, you have Liverpool, who you expect to be on fantastic form, and Fulham, who you kind of expect to be on not as good form. Fulham are unbeaten in 8. Fulham are...
Yeah, they're doing really well. Resurgent Fulham side. They just need the wins.
Well, the thing is that they're getting them. They're slow. Don't get me wrong. They're slow, but slowly and surely they are getting wins. And if we go back a few months, I'd be with you on that one where they need it. But they're getting them. Not as many as they should be getting, but slowly but surely they're getting there. So weirdly enough, you've got Fulham on the kind of form that you expect Liverpool to be on, and Liverpool to be on a kind of form that you expect Fulham to be on. So it should be quite an interesting game.
Score prediction. Do you think there's a chance for Fulham win? Maybe.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna 0-0.
Not very fascinating scoreline there. I'm going 2-1 Liverpool on this one. I think they will still score more. Next up is Manchester City versus Man United. The Manchester derby. Man City, can anyone beat this team and stop their winning streaks? 21 games, 28 games unbeaten in all competitions. Is Pep Guardiola playing Football Manager and just saving before every game? And are we all a part of his massive simulation in a game? Probably. But
I've had a lot of people call Pep Guardiola weird things. But what you're saying there is he is doing the Matrix.
Yeah, he's got us all illusioned, and we're all, puppets in his masterful Football Manager game. And he's probably in his boxers playing like 3 days straight.
And he's fat.
But still bold.
He can't be able to lose the weight in his reality. So in my simulation, skinny. You can change your Football Manager how fat you are and how tall you are. He's like, I'm going to be skinny.
But Man City, they have to be really careful about this. This is a banana skin, potentially. I don't think they've won 3 out of the last 5 home games in the Manchester derby. They've lost 3. So this is a potential banana skin, but they've got more than enough quality to beat this Man United side. As for Man United, they're doing their best Fulham impression right now. They're just drawing far too many games. You know, it's a bit crazy with Man United considering how high they were up the table at one point, but they've unfortunately fallen off. If I was in that Man United dressing room right now, this would be I'd be desperate to win this game. You know, Man City think they're probably going to win the league, but like if you can get a scalp and like win and stop their unbeaten record and winning record, then like this is the game to do it. And they struggle against the top teams, but this is a big game, I'd say, for Bruno Fernandes.
You know what? I actually think you hit the nail on the head quite a few months ago. I think the vibe I get with this Manchester United team is something we haven't really seen in a while. But they're very much a confidence side. When they have the confidence up, they look absolutely brilliant. You know, they look phenomenal and really difficult to beat. When the confidence is down, they don't look good at all. They don't seem to have that middle ground, do they?
No. But it just takes a couple of goals and a game to swing by, and this is the game to do it. So score prediction, who are you going with?
Yeah, after everything you've just said about Manchester United, I'm buying into it and I'm going 3-0 City.
I'm still going Man City 2-1.
Next up is Tottenham versus Crystal Palace. And look, full cards on the table. 2021 has not been kind for Tottenham. Defensively, they've been nothing short of a shambles. Sometimes I think, am I being a bit harsh? But I think that is the word. And offensively, I think they've lacked teeth. They've lacked creativity. But just maybe, they might have turned the corner. Now, obviously, they have a tough game against Fulham coming up. And they have an even tougher game against Crystal Palace. But that Burnley game, they'll be hoping that'll be the start of a new Tottenham, a Tottenham that scores goals and keeps clean sheets.
Wow.
I know, right?
And Harry Kane passes to Son for a goal. I mean, that's why they've fallen off. You can't keep up that level of production like they did at the beginning.
Yeah, 100% agree. And, as I mentioned before, the game before Crystal Palace is tough. But let's be honest, Crystal Palace will be the much tougher game. And Crystal Palace, they're so inconsistent. They are so inconsistent. I think I'm seeing a lot of Crystal Palace fans kind of putting pressure on Roy Hodgson. I think they want something new because I think the problem they've got is they're inconsistent, but they're safe. And I think the problem is style. I think what they're basically saying is if we're going to be inconsistent and average, then we might as well do it and play attacking football. And I think that's what a lot of the Crystal Palace fans are starting to kind of get the ump with a little bit. But it's not all negative with Palace. Zaha, he is rumoured to be back for the Tottenham game, which, let's be honest, is absolutely massive. He's such a brilliant and key player for them, so should be a good game.
Score prediction.
It's a tough one. 2-0 Tottenham.
Oof.
No. 2-1 Tottenham. They're not going to keep a clean sheet.
Okay. I feel Crystal Palace can be massively, massively painful to play against. So I'm going 1-1 here. Next up is Chelsea versus Everton. And Chelsea, they've got to face two teams from Liverpool, who are right behind them for Champions League places. So it's going to be a massive test for Tuchel. I'd say for the Chelsea fans, I would like to know what their thoughts are. I mean, Tuchel's on a very good unbeaten run at the moment, and it looks like after these games, Chelsea were right to sack Frank Lampard and appoint Thomas Tuchel. But I guess the proof is in the pudding, really. I don't know how Chelsea fans will react if he doesn't get Champions League. Will they give him a pass because he had to come in midway through the season? Or will they, because Chelsea, they should be getting Champions League, so no matter who's in charge, they will demand that. So it's going to be very, very fascinating, these next two games, essentially.
Yeah, well, hang on. I think Chelsea fans, right, if he doesn't get Champions League football, I think every single manager who comes into a new job, I think he's deserved at least 2 transfer windows and 1 pre-season minimum. So I think it'd be very, very harsh if any fan anywhere, if he comes in mid-season and kind of doesn't do that well, if there's pressure put on him. I think every manager, very minimum, deserves at least 1 pre-season and 2 transfer windows, unless he loses every game.
You've jinxed him. As for Everton fans, all of you must still be on cloud 9. All of you better be doing the Ancelotti eyebrow raise like throughout the entire day. I don't care if you're going to make yourself a tea, you're going to the toilet, you know, even if you're making love, you probably put that eyebrow up, because that's how good it's been for Everton fans in recent weeks. You know, that Champions League is so within touching distance. You know, be a massive game against Chelsea and prove that they can beat Chelsea, and they've done it against Liverpool, and they've done the comeback against Man United. So against the top teams, you know, Everton have been really, really effective. And can they make one step further by beating Chelsea?
I'm not going to let that slide. Why are you telling people what facial expressions to do whilst getting jiggy with it?
He's probably doing it, so they might just emulate their hero in Carlo Ancelotti.
Okay, we should move on for this. Quick prediction, please.
I'm going Everton 2-1. All those fans better put those eyebrows up.
I'm going Everton 6. you can
expect a baby boom in like 9 months in Liverpool. But...
You interrupted me there, Gary. I thought you was going to appreciate the score prediction I was going to do, which was Everton 6, Chelsea 9. after all your sex talk, that's the only number that's in my head. No, I'm not. I'm going for an entertaining 2-2.
Ooh, okay.
Next up is West Ham versus Leeds, and I have to say, Gary, I really have to say this is the exact kind of game that I'm missing with the fans not being in stadiums. You know, because
wouldn't this be a bit of a tear up? You know, this fixture.
I think a little bit. I think the main rivalry is between Leeds and Millwall.
Yeah.
But it doesn't exactly make West Ham and Leeds friends. You know, I don't think football has that rule where of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I don't think there's that in football. I think it's everyone just likes themselves and that's it. And just hates everyone else. But West Ham, they've been on some form in this 2021. They've been playing really, really well. And as a matter of fact, they've only lost 2 games in 2021. And that was against Liverpool and City. And it was that resurgent City that you were talking about earlier. And let's be honest, West Ham gave them a game. West Ham really made it really, really close.
They had the better XG in that game as well.
You know, which Pep might have been fuming with that. You know, the fact that any team beats them in XG. And in the Champions League positions, you know, so it's not just about Champions League being in the horizon or potentially getting it. It's about staying there. So they really have they really will have their eyes looking up and hoping that they can cling on to those Champions League spots. For Leeds United, I feel for Leeds, and you know, because you have to remember they're the entertainers. I feel this season they're the ones who have gone just toe to toe with everyone, and either they're going to win or lose. And it has literally been that because they've only drawn twice this season, but in the last 3 games they've been on the wrong end of like kind of being the entertaining side. They've lost the last 3, and whilst I do actually think they're safe, I don't think they're close to relegation. You know, they'd have to be some mentally bad form, kind of like Southampton's. It'd have to be some mentally bad form to see them and come anywhere near to danger. But what they don't want to do is undo all the hard work they did earlier in the season. Before we move on to predictions, I do just want to say I want to label this game the Physio Room Derby, because between them, there's 14 players out injured between them. Leeds beat West Ham 8-6 on injuries, if that's anything to go by.
Score prediction. Who are you going with on this one?
I see a draw. I'm going against everything I've just said. I'm going against West Ham have been playing well, Leeds have been playing badly, and that Leeds can't draw games. But I'm going for a draw, and I'm going 1-1.
I'm going for a Leeds win here. Going to be as random as possible because the run's going to come to an end. Going 2-1 Leeds on this one.
And we have a bonus game. It's the 11th game of the game week. It's Manchester City versus Southampton. Gary, what's your score prediction for this one?
9-0 Southampton. No, they can't do that. Manchester City 3-0.
I am going 6-0 Manchester City.
I mean, it's definitely possible. Actually, let me bump mine up to 4-0. Let's bump mine up to 4-0.
We're sorry, Saints fans. We're sorry. It's not our fault.
We get influenced too much.
Like, yeah, I really think if you lose 9-0 twice, like kind of in recent history, like you have to expect a certain level when you're coming up against the best team in the Premier League right now. So prove us wrong. Win. You know, prove us wrong. You wouldn't be the first. You won't be the last. So that is all the games done. And before we sign off, as always, we're going to go through the scores from last week. And it was so close between everyone this week. Gary,
come on.
Guess where you finished? You finished
top,
second.
right? No, how? I thought I got all this. What did I end up with?
You finished second with 12 points. You were beat by S, who also got 12 points. But as our rule, he got 4 perfect scores compared to your 1. So therefore, you finished.
That's so fake. I corrected. I guess more correct scores. I'm
rules
done
are rules,
by
Gary.
our own rules.
No one cares. You can just cry into your pillow. No one cares. So you come second. That is 2. Well done, S. You're our winner this week.
Well done.
But that is it. He doesn't sound like he meant that. That is it for this week. We are done. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching.